25 feet deep, 150 feet wide.
It is a pile of mud, trees, and rocks blocking a highway and making life miserable for the people who use it. The landslide is our top story.
The lights are still out in parts of Bellingham. The aftermath of savage wind. Will Thanksgiving be a blackout?
Getting to the dinner on time. The Turkey Day travel rush is on. We have the information to get you there safe and on time.
The cause is in. We now know what led to the death of those 2 Kingdome workers.
Nicole Simpson's sister breaks her silence in a big way, damning words against O.J. Simpson.
King 5 News is next.
Number 1 at 5 o'clock. This is King 5 Television. And now, with all the news for Western Washington, Gene Enerson and Barry Judd, meteorologist Jeff Renner, and Carlos Del Valle Sports. This is King 5 News at 5.
A massive mudslide, and the timing couldn't be worse. Just hours before the Thanksgiving travel rush, a major east-west highway cutting across Washington is now impassable. Good evening. I'm Gene Enerson.
And I'm Dennis Bounds in for Barry tonight. A mountain of mud, trees, and rock blocks U.S. Highway 12 just west of Randall near Mount Rainier tonight, cutting connections to Western Washington. And now we have learned it will be days before Highway 12 reopens. King 5's Larry Calley starts our top story coverage near the landslide. Larry.
Well, Dennis, the State Department of Transportation now has a better idea when this highway will be reopened, but it won't be before the end of the holiday weekend. A 60-foot-high mountain of trees, dirt, and rocks now covers a section of U.S. Highway 12 between Centralia and Yakima. The slide occurred late yesterday on a hillside just west of the logging town of Randall. 2 people were slightly injured when their vehicles were hit by debris. Chuck Wagner just missed losing his house.
Oh, I am just right there, right where the slide is. It probably missed my driveway by, about 10, 15 feet or so.
The Department of Transportation didn't want to start clearing the road until it was sure there would be no more sliding. The 1,000-foot slope still has a lot of trees and rocks that look unstable. But this afternoon, the state's chief geologist surveyed the area by helicopter and determined it was safe to begin clearing the road.
Most of the material that failed, and it basically stabilized itself.
The Department of Transportation says the job of clearing the highway is too big for it, and they'll have to get bids from a private contractor.
We hope to mobilize by Friday, begin working on other things. We have to find pit sites to put the material and the rock and all the trees, and I estimate 2 to 3 days. 3 days is my max, and I think by Monday we'll have everything open. I hope.
Meanwhile, communities on both sides of the slide are missing out on holiday business. The Mount Adams Motel, however, is still hopeful.
I have reservations, and if they can make it, I hope they can. If they want to still come down, they'll be here. If not, anybody who needs a room, it's available.
Now, this highway was just widened this past summer to handle more traffic, and this holiday weekend was to be the first big test for the road. That test will now have to wait until Christmas. Reporting live near Randall, Larry Calley, King 5 News.
Well, it wasn't the road widening that caused the mudslide, was it, Larry?
No, it wasn't, Gene. Geologists say this is a natural drainage area, and it just got saturated at the top and slipped away.
All right, Larry Calley live in Randall.
Well, the small town of Randall is feeling the greatest impact from the landslide. The easiest way in and out is by helicopter. So we had King 5's Jim Foreman and Sky King drop in to see how folks are coping.
The landslide is pretty much leaving Randall's 4,000 residents to fend for themselves. With the main road in and out of town cut off, things here are grinding to a halt.
Green, huh?
And that's just what's happening here at Pacific Lumber and Shipping, the area's largest employer. With no way in and out for the 100 trucks that make the trip every day, the mill has been forced to shut down, with some 400 workers furloughed, told to go home until further notice.
It's pretty well curtailed everything that we have going.
We just wait and let them get it done. I would assume that yelling and screaming probably won't speed them up any.
Here at the Randall One Stop, folks are stocking up on supplies, but some supplies are being stopped at the roadblock. Some workers can't make it in too, but for the most part, people are coping the best they can.
Just a fact of life. That's like we have floods and we had Mount St. Helens, and so it's just you cope the best you can and do what you can and don't worry about the rest.
Some folks say they are rethinking Thanksgiving plans, just staying home, waiting for the road to be cleared. And the people here say the sooner the better. The landslide has cut Randall in half. with the firehouse on the wrong side for many of the people. And what would normally be a 20-minute ambulance ride to the closest hospital has now become an hour-long drive if the road is open. In Randall, Jim Foreman, King 5 News.
And if the mill stays shut down much longer, there will be some serious ripple effects. Warehousers worry that without wood chips from Randall, its Longview pulp mill might have to cut back production.
Money trouble for the White Pass ski area, too. It was open today despite Mother Nature's roadblock to Western Washington skiers. An estimated 400 Western Washington skiers were expected. Most of the slope business comes from the Tacoma Olympia area, but all in all, despite the shutdown of Highway 12, the marketing director says today wasn't so bad after all.
Despite the fact that the west side was closed down, we actually had quite a good Wednesday in that here on the east side, it was a half day of school, and many people made the decision to either skip school altogether or make it up for half day. So we did not see that much of an effect today.
Kathleen Goyette says the good news is the Department of Transportation plans to open a detour route by tomorrow. You can also travel I-90 over Snoqualmie Pass to Yakima, then backtrack west on Highway 12, or you can drive south to Portland, then east on I-84 to US 97 north to Yakima, then backtrack on Highway 12.
Just a few extra miles. Well, the heavy rains may have contributed to the landslide. Is more rain on the way for that area?
Jeff Renner joins us live from the First Alert Forecast Center with the answer. Jeff, what's in store?
Well, good evening, Gene and Dennis. We're taking a look at our First Alert Doppler radar, which has some good news short-term for the Randall area. If we look at that, we see some echoes of precipitation just to the southwest of Olympia, but I'm going to zoom in here. And Randall would be just about due east of Chehalis and south of Enumclaw. We can see absolutely nothing there. Now, part of the reason they've had a problem, if I switch back to a radar image from earlier this morning in just a couple of seconds here as our radar computer sets up, you notice a widespread area of green, and that is just part of the problem. They've had a lot of rain so far this month, in fact, really since the tail end of October. Well, if you're heading over the mountain passes this holiday weekend, expect quite a bit of company on the pass roadways, and not just on White Pass. Earlier today, cars moved steadily over Interstate 90 at Snoqualmie Pass. The traffic is expected to remain heavier than normal all weekend. There, it doesn't look too bad. So right now, Snoqualmie Pass is reporting barren wet conditions. If you're headed over another popular pass, namely Stevens Pass, you'll see that compact snow and ice is reported and traction tires are advised. The third major pass would be Blewett Pass. And I will just tell you that they also are advising traction tires, compact snow and ice on the road surface for Blewett Pass. But right now, not snowing. That is going to change, however. And to help you have a safe trip over and back, I'll be back with our complete forecast in about, 10 or 15 minutes from now. Gene, Dennis, back to you.
Weather for the traveling folks. Jeff,
Absolutely.
thanks.
On one of the busiest travel days of the year, this was the last thing anyone needed. A landslide will keep a section of US 12 heading across White Pass closed indefinitely. That's putting a little more pressure on Snoqualmie Pass.
Latest, Chris.
Steve, the state now says it'll be at least Monday before Highway 12 reopens. It'll take at least that long to cut through a 50-foot wall of earth. The wave of mud, rocks, and even whole trees came crashing down on Highway 12, shaking up the residents of Randall.
It was like deafening, just in that hairline, second. You weren't sure what it was.
A massive bedrock failure is what the state calls it. 1,000 feet up from the highway, part of a hillside just collapsed. It was nerve-wracking for Kendra Colman.
I don't think I can ever go back through there again without really watching it.
The state blocked the highway to White Pass, telling drivers they'd have to turn around. But these persistent skiers got a detour with Donna Ruby.
Yeah, we're going to head out. We'll follow you. We can go in this kind of car, right? It's a paved road. Okay,
yeah,
good.
No, it's not a paved road. It's an old funky logging road with one-lane bridges, but you can make it.
Even though some back roads are open, a few Randall residents don't think driving is worth the hassle. Darlene Allison will spend this Thanksgiving at home, hoping her family in Tacoma understands.
Wish them happy Thanksgiving. Grandpa and Grandma are having pizza.
Now, Darlene Allison has another option. The state tells us they've just reopened another road, another detour. It's a Forest Service road that they've been plowing all day, so there is another way to get around the landslide, but they are saying, please use traction tires and no commercial trucks.
Yeah, Chris, thanks. We do have, by the way, a map of the detour for those of you who need it. Here we go. Take a look. It is Skate Creek Road, and it runs from Highway 706 near Ashford and connects to Highway 12 at Packwood. The road is normally closed for the winter, but it will remain open until the landslide is cleared, which will probably be sometime early next week.
We have the first answers tonight about what caused that deadly I wanna ride.